Have you got your tickets to the largest music festival in Eastern Kentucky? The Alley Fest is returning Labor Day weekend. That's August 29th, 30th, and 31st. And this year it's bigger and better than ever before. On Friday, see Them Dirty Vandals, Zoe Howard, John Foster, Slater Nelly, and TikTok sensation Maddox Batson. Saturday features Brady Robinson, Troy Burchett, Jordan Smart, Wicked Peace, Jack Marion, Tyler Hood, Rachel Bayman, Luke Trimble, Abby Hamilton, Grayson Jenkins, American Idol winner Noah Thompson, and Nicholas Jamerson and the Morning Jays. And on Sunday, we have Brady McCown, Emma Hansman, John Thomas Moore, Moonlight Mile, Braden Mullins, Corduroy Brown, B. Taylor, our buddies the Kentucky Headhunters, Cole Chaney, and three-time Grammy Award winner Old Crow Medicine Show. Alley Fest has a new home at Archer Park in the Star City, Prestonsburg, Kentucky. This year, the Alley Fest offers on-site camping options, including primitive camping, car camping, and RV spots. All camping is walking distance to the showgrounds. Tickets and camping passes are going fast, so get yours today and don't miss this unbelievable lineup. For tickets, VIP passes, camping passes, and more information, visit www.alleyfestky.com. That's www.alleyfestky.com. Welcome to Behind the Shed. We hope you're enjoying our series. Today we have our hosts Russ Zavitson and Harold Shedd sitting down with special guests Judy Harris and Jewel Coburn, two of Nashville's most respected music publishers who have spent their careers working with artists ranging from Alan Jackson and Keith Urban to Guy Clark, Leanne Rimes, and Shania Twain to deliver chart-topping hits. Let's get to it. This is Behind the Shed.
All right, Harold.
Hey,
what we got here today?
Well, we have two of Nashville, Tennessee's greatest. We'll call them girls from the past that we've known for such a long time, and they just both are exceptional people and exceptional also as people that know a lot about songs, and we're going to talk to them and see how they got here and what made them famous and some of their favorite songs and their
Who's he talking
all
about?
of this kind of stuff. But
Definitely not me.
Jewel, she's been here for a while, and so has Judy, and we're so happy that they came to be on our podcast.
Yeah, man.
Happy
Yeah.
to
Thanks
be
for
here.
having us.
Yes. So, we usually start saying, both you guys at one at a time, how did you get into the music industry? How did it start? Some people backed into it, and some people aimed from the very beginning, so that's what I want to do. And, I know for me, I didn't know what publishing was growing up. I just wanted to play music. You guys are two of the best publishers ever in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm not just throwing roses, it's true. You were and are still. But,
Yes.
start with you, Judy. How did you get in the music industry?
Well, my great aunt was one of Minnie Pearl's best friends. And so Pearl called Aunt Katie and said, they've asked me who I would recommend to guide tours for the Grand Ole Opry. And Aunt Katie said, I don't want to do it, but Judy will. So I was a sophomore in high school, did not like country music. I was into Motown and whatever was going on at that time. But I said, okay, because one of the reasons it paid $10 an hour.
Oh, my God.
Ooh, back then.
This was
Wow.
back in 1963.
Yeah.
And that was good money.
Yeah.
And I worked from 10 to 12 on Saturdays. And I had the rest of the day off. And two of my friends said, I want to do that. That'd be good. So we had a big time. And then I went to Peabody for a year and a half because I felt like I should do something to figure out what I was going to do when I grew up. And then I was still guiding tours on Saturday, and I was offered a job in the ticket office at the Ryman, Well, that just sounded like way too much fun for me to turn down. So I said, okay. But I continued to go to night school. And one of my professors was Ed Shea, who was running ASCAP at the time. So he said, would you like to go to work at ASCAP? And I said, what is ASCAP? And he said, you will figure it out. So now, when everybody was taking typing and home ec and all that, I didn't want to do that. So I was taking Latin and, Spanish, these things that could certainly not get me anywhere. So when I went to work for ASCAP, I was the receptionist, but I also helped out being a secretary, which meant you had to know shorthand. That was back in the day.
Right.
So I just faked it. I mean,
How did you
there's no
fake
doubt.
shorthand?
I did. It was Judy's hand.
Gotcha.
Okay? And I also taught myself to type, which was essential, right? And read up about ASCAP. So I ended up being secretary to Charlie Monk. Now, kudos to me for that.
Yeah. The mayor of Music Row.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't mayor then.
Okay.
And we got along great finally when I would not accept him being a male chauvinist pig. And he knows that. And I don't speak ill of the dead because he was absolutely a great mentor. So anyhow, he got offered a job. We had been at ASCAP for about 7 years, and he got offered a job to revive April Blackwood music. They had a big hit, Angel of the Morning. And I can't think of the guy's name that ran it then. Anyhow, they closed that office down, and they wanted to bring it back. So Charlie comes in and says, I've accepted a job with April Blackwood, and I told him that you had to come with me, and you get a raise. And I'm like, I don't want to leave. I love this place. And he said, no, you're getting a raise. Did you hear me? And I went, oh, yeah. So I ended up going to work for April Blackwood Music, and I did not have a clue what a publisher did. I knew how to sign them up at ASCAP.
Sure.
One of the people that I happened to get was Richard Lee, and he brought Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue.
Yeah.
That was how he you got to be a member.
Sure.
So
Excuse me.
So we go to work for April Blackwood, and it's a division of CBS, the big CBS. And so we hung out. We had a couple of offices, little cubicles, in the CBS Records, the administrative part. The studio was separate. And that's where Billy Sherrill and Glenn Sutton and all those people were. But we were in the admin part. And we were there about a week, and Charlie said, I'm going to London, so good luck. And I went, do you know what we're supposed to do here? He said, not really, but figure it out. So we had a box, a huge box of reel-to-reel tapes from L.A. We didn't have any writers in Nashville. I didn't know any writers in New York. And so I pulled out the tapes. I was just listening in my office one day, and of course somebody had to show me how to thread the machine because I didn't have a clue. So I was listening, and Susan Gibson, she was married to Steve Gibson, who was producing Gene Cotton. Mm-hmm. Susan was walking down the corridor, and she said, what's that song? And I picked up the box and read her the name of the song because I could count, how many down I was. And she said, that sounds like a great song for Gene Cotton. Will you get me a copy? And I went, sure, be glad to. She left, and I went, and now what? Charlie's in London. And so I thought, maybe the guys at the record company would make me a tape. Because we didn't have a tape room. I mean, nothing. So I gave her the tape a couple of days later, and Steve recorded the song on Gene Cotton, and it was a single.
Wow.
I let Charlie know, believe me. he heard that every time we were together. Anyhow, so that's...
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That is.
It,
what a good story.
well,
Yeah.
you know, I've been so blessed because I've never had to apply for a job. And that just doesn't happen very often. And I'm just so blessed that, you know...
Well, getting the job's one thing, keeping it's another, and you kept it, so that's important. 'Cause
Yeah, I worked 7 years at ascap and 10 years at CBS Songs. And then, of course, we got bought by Swed and Koppelman and Bandier.
Right.
And then a bunch of us got laid off.
Wow.
And then they ended up selling the company to EMI for twice as much as they bought it
Oh.
in a year.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
Amazing.
What a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jewel, you're up next.
Oh. Well, I'm originally from Australia, and
Now, you were an actress, right, in Australia?
in Los Angeles.
Oh, in L.A., okay.
When I was about 10, my folks and I moved to Los Angeles. And yeah, I started singing when I was when I was 4, and had a record out in Australia, which became a hit. It was just a novelty song. And then my dad was a great singer, and we did a trio thing. And they wanted to see what they could do in America. So we moved to Los Angeles in '68. And I started taking some acting lessons and got an agent, and started getting acting roles in about 1970, things like Mod Squad and Lassie, Night Gallery, Bonanza.
Bonanza, I saw Bonanza.
Did you? A couple of those, and a bunch of TV movies, one with Dick Van Dyke, and a movie in England called Baffled with Leonard Nimoy. Anyway, a lot of that stuff, and a lot of commercials and so on. But also was singing with my folks, and then did a solo thing for a while, and ended up getting a record deal in Nashville in '78. Bob Ferguson actually signed me.
Wow.
And Chet was still there, Chet
Yeah.
Atkins. And so Chet and Bob signed me. And then Pat Carter produced me, and we had a couple of singles, and one of them got the Billboard New Artist of the Year, and I guess it was 78 still.
Wow.
And then Galante moved in, and he dropped me, which was fine. We get along great, but it was just like, okay. But it was a great experience. It was really fun. But I was still living in Los Angeles, and then eventually moved back to Australia. I'm sorry, this is such a long-winded thing, but I went back to Australia in 1982. Was it 81? 81, and then I continued being an artist over there with. CBS Records over there, and had a career there for a while, and got the best female vocalist at the CMA Awards over there, and I was writing and recording my own stuff. Eventually, I'm really such an introvert that it was always difficult for me to be on stage, and I liked acting because you're being somebody else, you know, you're not, and you're just with a camera, you're not with like a big audience or anything. So I found it a bit of a struggle, but I was lucky that I did pretty well. But I wasn't fulfilling. It was, my mother really was the stage mother, and she wanted me to do all these things, and I'm like, okay. And then eventually I quit and moved to another city and met Barry Coburn. We got married in '84 and moved to Nashville. And he was a publisher and a manager and a concert promoter. And he'd been to Nashville and Los Angeles a lot. So I knew a lot of people in Nashville and LA, and he did too. So we packed up our suitcases and filled them with tapes and, reel-to-reels, of course, and got to Nashville and rented an office with Dan Wojak.
Oh, yeah.
Shorty Lavender got an office in that building and tried to become publishers in Nashville, which was... We found that nothing we brought with us was appropriate. I mean, we didn't have anything that was going to work in Nashville.
Right.
We learned that pretty quickly. And Barry had management experience, and having been an artist, I kind of knew what they went through and how I could maybe help working with artists to help them do what they wanted to do. And the first person that Barry started managing was Holly Dunn at.
She was signed to CBS Songs
Yeah,
Really?
as a writer.
and I can't think of the label now, which is weird. But
Warner
anyway,
Brothers.
You-
Warner Brothers.
No, wasn't she
no,
on
it was
MTM?
MTM. Thank
Oh,
you,
that's
thank
right.
you. Yeah, and Lacey J. Dalton, and
Yep.
I actually met her through Emmylou because he toured Emmylou Harris just before we moved here, and met Lacey through one of the Emmylou's fiddle player. And so that kind of led to that. And so his management activity helped us have enough income to start to build a publishing company. And I wanted to learn publishing and learn how to do that and what to do. And I had a lot of help with people like Judy
Sure.
and Charlie Monk
Sure.
and Ralph
Murphy.
Ralph Murphy and Tommy Polk over
Oh, loved him.
loved him, and he was so helpful. So I didn't know anything about publishing at all, but I gradually learned, and we started to do some single song deals because we couldn't really afford to do a full exclusive deal with anybody in the early days. But gradually we built up a bit of a catalog, and then eventually, who did we sign first? Mark Irwin, who... I put him together with Alan and Alan Jackson, and they wrote Here in the Real World.
Yeah.
First time they ever got together. And Alan didn't want to record that song, and ended up, Tim Dubois insisted that he cut it, and it ended
We
up being
mentioned
his
about
first.
12 legends in this conversation already. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the Alan thing happened where I was, I knew Marty, I didn't know Marty Gallman, I knew, help me out here, the banjo player for Glenn Campbell, Carl Jackson.
Carl Jackson, yeah.
Okay, so in Australia, my dad and I were doing like a Kendall sort of duo thing, and we opened for Glenn while he was there, and I got to know all the guys in the band there, and when I came to Nashville, why am I blanking out again?
We do that a lot
Banjo
around here.
player.
Carl Jackson.
Thank you, Carl. Carl said, go see Marty when you go to Nashville. And so I did. And at that point, he was trying to get a deal for Alan Jackson. And it wasn't happening. But he played me some music, showed me a picture, and he said, do you think Barry might be interested in meeting with Alan? And I said, sure, I'm sure he would. And I personally, I admit it, I thought Alan was just too much like George Strait at that point. I just kind of thought, well, he's good, but, it didn't thrill me. And then then he came into the office and I met him, and he was like, hi, ma'am, nice to meet you. And he was such a gentleman and had that kind of Elvis quality about him, And I was like, I get it. And so he continued all his writing. And, of course, he ended up working with Keith, who...
Yeah.
Charlie was managing as an artist
Right.
at that point. And anyway, so the Alan thing, he did tons of showcases, got passed on by everybody once or twice, and eventually did a showcase at Hall of Fame. No, actually it was Douglas Corner, this particular one. And Tim Dubois was there. Jimmy Bowen was supposed to be there, but he didn't make it. And there were other people that were supposed to be there, but Tim was there. And he was about to open Arista. And Clive was looking for a hat act, as he called him. He wanted a country act in Nashville. And so Tim told Clive about Alan. And I remember the day after the showcase, I got this phone call from Clive Davis's office going, Clive Davis would like to speak to Barry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy.
Yeah.
Because I was the receptionist and the song plugger and,
Sure.
whatever needed to be done. It was just Barry and me. And so Clive wanted Alan and Barry to go to New York and meet with them. And he did. And next thing, he got a deal. And
The rest is history.
that's how it kind of went.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed him. He was
In our basement.
in our basement. And,
Alan?
Yeah, when
Marty
That's right.
Gamblin
Of
had
course,
an
that's
office
where
there.
that's
when
where
Marty
I went.
was there,
Exactly.
and I was working with Glenn at the time, and saw Alan just about every day, you know.
Mhm.
But I guess it's one of those. It was not meant to be, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It just,
And
yeah.
he did very well without us.
Yeah, he did pretty good with that.
He did.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So
All that's interesting to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
thank
so
you.
so you get in Nashville. And I got another question for you two, Judy, in a minute. But you get to Nashville and you guys start the publishing company.
Hmm.
How long before you actually went out and started getting songs cut? How long did it take you to get into the system?
Well,
and
5 years. Ralph Murphy told us it's a 5-year town, and he was right. It was about 5 years to the week that we got our first single, and it was Joel Saunier,
Joel Saunier.
If Your Heart Should Ever Roll This Way Again,
I remember that.
which was Mark
Love
Irwin
that
and
song.
I don't
Yeah.
remember who else. But yeah, so that was our first radio hit. And then then we signed a guy named Zach Turner,
I remember
and
Zach.
we got a lot of
Yeah.
cuts with him and Angela Cassett, Something in Red, and a lot of other, Laurie Morgan. And,
Angela, what a great songwriter.
yeah, and she's she still is. She's amazing. Let me think here. Oh, and then Harley Allen was probably our biggest writer.
Harley, yeah.
He was a great
I mean, we had probably I don't know, a couple of dozen really
You
big
had some
hits on
good
him.
writers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
were
first time
fortunate.
when I went to work for Keith, first time I put Michael White and Harley Allen together, they wrote The Baby.
Exactly. I didn't realize you put those two together.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite all time.
It
that they
is.
wrote.
Well,
Which one is that?
The Baby.
The Baby.
The Baby.
That's
Blake
cool.
Shelton.
I can't agree with
Such a
everything. you
great
said.
song.
What a great song.
Yeah.
What a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were good times, and then of course Keith Urban showed
that
up.
didn't hurt.
Yeah,
No.
Because I knew him from when I was he was about 8, and I'm 10 years older than him or something. And when I was in Australia, actually, I wasn't even, I was living in LA at the time, but my folks were friends with his folks. And Keith used to go to all the country music talent contests, and he'd always win them. And he was always great at guitar. And my dad actually, when he was really little, showed Keith how to play some chords.
Yeah.
But of course, Keith took off. My dad was just a basic country guitar player.
Was
But
the
he,
ranch
but
with
he
him?
kind of, no, this was when he was a kid still.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
wow.
8 years old. Yeah. And then eventually he was successful in Australia. And then when he came to Nashville, we were the obvious place to go talk to because we were Australian. I was Australian. Barry was from New Zealand. Keith was born in New Zealand but raised in Australia. Anyway, Keith came there and we gave him a publishing deal. And took about 7 or 8 years before
I remember
he...
that.
It was just amazing. 'Cause
Before
they
it all
were
blew- yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. I remember
the
going
ranch
down
was great, yeah.
Going down to Jazz Guitar Bar and watching
Oh,
him. And
exactly.
They did the ranch, and nothing really took off, and they put stuff out. It
Yep.
took a while, like everybody.
It took a long time. It took about 8 years,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
to get him up there.
So Judy, so you said you kind of backed into all that stuff, but you were successful and kept moving forward. When did you feel like, I finally got this figured out? Man, this is working. This is happening, and that's happening.
I still don't have it figured out.
Well, I understand that, but you had a lot of hit records and worked with a lot of great writers and artists.
To be honest, I don't know that I ever thought about it. I'm a song junkie. So that's the crux of my addiction is great songs. And when I hear a great song, I'm just pick up the phone and just start calling, Of course, you don't do that anymore, but
You still get that feeling, though.
there is nothing like it when you hear it on the radio for the first time.
Yep.
Nothing
Joe
like
Fuller, who wrote Traveling Man and Show and Tell, and on the
I loved him.
He's great. He was a writer, and he wrote this song called "A Woman's Touch," And Gary Morris, I believe, had a single on it. But somebody may have had it first. I don't remember. But I remember it's the first song that I ever heard on the radio that I actually got cut. And I just went, this is what it's all about.
Isn't that fun?
You know?
Golly, that's so much fun. Yeah. You know, I don't think it's exactly the same thing anymore. It's a little bit different anyway. But, you know, those moments, and which brings me to another funny thing. So, you know, our lives were spent for years setting up meetings and going playing songs for producers and artists. And it was, you know, a pretty healthy business doing that kind of stuff. I don't know if they do that so much anymore from what I'm sure they don't.
I think the artist picks his co-writers.
That's pretty much it. But, you know, we used to talk about, oh, I can't wait, I'm going to play songs for so-and-so or so-and-so. And then the ones you go, God, I hate playing songs for them. It's so hard. You know, we talk about the hardest ones we ever did. You know, I don't know if you guys ever played songs for Bob Montgomery, but he did that, El Paso, and throw it back at you.
Oh, I've got a funny story about Bob. You know, he would throw the cassette at you, right? So I'd had about enough of that. So the next time I went in to see him, I knew he was going to do it, so I had a baseball mitt, and I held it up.
That's great. That's really good.
Did you catch it?
No,
That's funny.
that's not my first deal is
Yeah,
baseball.
I
You
got
know
you.
what I'm saying?
I got you. But, you know, talking about people you hate to play songs for and you love to play songs for. And we've laughed about this, you know, a couple times on past podcasts. But, you know, the way I react, I'm an excitable guy. I get excited, and I know you do too, and I think Jewel does a little bit. You know, Harold doesn't get real excited. When Harold's real excited, it's like, man, that's really good. And people would call me and they'd say, man, he's so hard to play songs for. I can't tell what he's thinking. He doesn't say much, and you know, and you know, and Harold would say, man, that's really good. And that, man, I'm cutting this. This is great, you know. And people a lot of times didn't understand. We've laughed about that in here. You guys remember playing songs for Harold and going and sitting down?
Yes.
Do we want to talk about it?
Well, Ed Shea had a saying called the worst first.
Yeah.
Get something that you really don't like to do first in the day, and then the rest of your day is great. So sometimes I would set up appointments with people that were really hard. Bud Logan
Oh yeah.
was really hard.
Love Bud.
For me. I don't know if... So I got to where I thought, this is ridiculous. I know that I have a song for John Conley. So the next time I had a meeting, I took him songs I thought he would pass on. And he took one and cut it. I'm like,
That's great.
so, you know, you can't figure it out.
No.
It's unfigurable. I have something that I've on the way over here I thought about. I've got to tell you. And somebody may have already covered this in one of the other podcasts, but to me, the triple play that you did, where you sent your Toby Keith, Shania Twain, and John Brannon, when you put them together and sent them on the road, I thought that was so brilliant. It was such a win-win. It was a win for them because they were being booked. It was a win for the record label because it's not like competing artists. It's like, you like all of them, you like one of them. We don't care, take it, you know. And it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool.
kudos.
That was pretty cool.
Well, it was one of those things that nobody thought we were very smart, you know, by doing that. But also, they all found their way because we started out, Toby was the opening act, Shania was always the middle, and then another guy, you know, so John was the closer. But then as time went on and we worked different places and you get different reactions, then Luke figured that part out. He said, well, I think John needs to be the opening act and Toby needs to close and let Shania stay where. So, and that's what we did, and that's how it actually wound up. but by doing that, they did find their place. It changed a lot of things, you know, and it certainly made Toby more aware, and he became a better songwriter and performer, and so did Shania.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we never made it with John, but he did have at least one good record, you know.
What's he doing now? Do you know?
I don't know.
He's still writing some. He and Von Tress became buddies and write together.
Okay.
Some still, yeah.
Boys with a good one.
Yeah.
Von Tress
they
is
do.
incredible.
Now, he doesn't live here anymore.
He never did. He lives down in Wayne County,
Oh, okay.
down around Waynesboro. He's been there for as long as 50 years probably. Yeah. That's how he got to Tennessee. He tried to move closer to Muscle Shoals when he came down. He's originally from Indiana. And so he went down there thinking, because Muscle Shoals is 30 minutes away. And, you know, so, but ended up here, you know, like all the rest of us, kicking and screaming. No, just kidding.
We hope you're enjoying the show. This episode is sponsored by PopChevy.com, Wild Bill Fireworks, and the Kent Rose Foundation.
So Julie, you grew up playing with your dad, is that what you said? It was like a family thing?
Yeah, I was about 3, I guess, when I got a little ukulele, and 4 when we did this record. Was called I Want to Stay on Jumbo. Was about, I'd gone to the circus with my folks, and they were having elephant rides, and so I loved elephants. Elephants were my favorite animals, so I got to ride on the elephant. And so my dad wrote this little song called I Want to Stay on Jumbo. And it ended up being a hit, I guess just because it was a 4-year-old doing a novelty thing.
When you were 4 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was in Australia.
Wow.
And but yes, I sang with my folks. We did a kind of a country folk trio thing.
See, I don't think I knew that.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
knew your dad was a singer, but
Yeah, well, later on he just continued to, do his thing, and he won Best Male Vocal in Australia country about 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
And he was a great singer. He just passed away about a year and a half ago. But he was singing great up until he was like 85, and touring and everything. He was just really, he loved it. I mean, country music was everything to him, and he just, when he was a little kid, he'd listen any way he could to, the Opry and whatever else he could get a hold of. And he loved people like Elton Britt and Marty Robbins and, of course, Hank and, all the Opry stars in the early days.
That's so cool. Golly.
Yeah, so we had a family thing, and we moved to L.A., as I said, in '68. And we got a record deal, the 3 of us, with Al DeLore. Well, he was the producer on Capitol, and of course Al was producing Glenn.
That's right.
At that time, and so we were again, lucky, and
great guy.
in the right place at the. Yes, Al was so nice.
Al was a fabulous
lovely man.
person, yeah.
He really
and
was.
so talented too.
Yeah, so we were just so fortunate. We just, we had a record that did okay, nothing huge, but that's what we did. And then eventually the acting thing, and then eventually back to Australia, and then back here. But my folks, we sang together a lot.
Yeah, I said I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No, I don't know why I didn't. I knew your dad
That's
was
okay.
an artist, but I didn't know that. I didn't know the elephant thing either. That's good to know.
Well, I don't usually talk about the elephant.
Well, so Judy, you never aspired to be a singer?
Oh, my God, no.
No?
No, I mean, not even in the shower. I mean, No.
Yeah.
See, I
well,
wanted to be a male model.
I'm sorry to say I really wanted to be a singer.
You did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
But
he's got pictures of him.
I
and
did
his sisters.
change my mind.
Yeah, he's got coolest pictures of him and his sisters all holding instruments and playing. He was the youngest one,
Oh,
holding his mandolin and playing stuff.
Oh, so
Cool.
you had a family band thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I had 8 sisters,
Oh,
and they
my
all
Lord.
sang.
8 sisters.
3 brothers, yes.
Wow.
12.
Wow.
Family band.
Yeah.
I should say.
That's seriously a family band.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sing in church mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's We got to find. Is there any recordings of you guys?
There are some.
I want to hear some.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
You just think you do.
Harold, what was the first record you produced?
First one?
No.
First record I produced, I co-produced it with Nelson Larkin.
Nelson.
We had a friend in Huntsville, Price Mitchell, the Mitchell Brothers Band, and they played at a place called the Jet Star Club. And at that time, the guy that actually brought me to town, his name was Scotty Turner.
Oh, yeah.
And he was running United Artists Records here. And we had dreams of getting him on UA. And so we recorded a song at the old studio on 19th. Music City Recorders. Was that it? Where
Maybe.
Scotty Moore was the engineer. He and Big
yeah.
Al Gore.
Yeah.
That wasn't the studio that Ray Stevens ended up on. It turned into 17 grand, was it?
No,
Okay.
no. This is on 19th.
Okay, 19th. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not Larry
Foxfire?
Rogers?
Yeah, I think it is.
Larry
Close to
Rogers.
Warner Brothers building.
Yes,
Yeah, Larry
yeah.
Rogers. That's right. That's okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But
Good memory.
that was the first record we ever made. And
Who was the artist? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Price Mitchell.
Oh, he was the artist. Okay.
And it was a song that the guy from Texas, I think he was a writer on it. He just died recently.
Towns Van Zandt.
No, that's...
Not Towns.
No,
Van
I
Zandt.
wrote Old Chunk of Coal.
Oh, I know who that is. None of us will think of it now.
Billy Joe Shaver?
Billy Joe
Yeah.
Shaver. It
Loved
seems like it
him.
was a
Oh.
Billy Joe song. I'm not sure of that. It's been a while ago.
He was so good.
But we released it and on an independent label. We didn't get the record deal. And the song was called Laying Here, Lying in Bed.
Uh-huh.
And that's a country song. That's a
Oh,
You
country
better
time.
believe it.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So I guess the next song I did Nellie and I did it together also, was on Little Willie Rainsford, the keyboard player.
Did you guys ever know
Played
him?
on a lot of
Heard the name,
sessions.
so.
Played on a lot of Alabama stuff in the beginning. And he was a great singer himself.
He was.
And Louisiana Hayride started a label in Nashville. So
I had forgotten that.
and Ed Shea was part of organizing that, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I have a picture of Ed and Mr. Kent and myself
Wow.
from those days. And I could have sung on Little Willie. That was a really good song. Buddy Cannon wrote it. Then Johnny Russell on RCA covered it and had a big hit on it. Kind of blew us little guys away at the time, but we didn't give up. And but those were the first two recordings that meant anything much, that were good enough to listen to. And then the next records I made after that was with Alabama, the group Alabama.
Wow.
You did okay with them.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
finally found some legs.
Well, you remember those days
Yeah.
when Alabama was cutting, or we got to get a song on there. Got to
I
get a song.
know.
On there.
Yeah.
They were
know.
so huge.
Yeah, I remember all those days. Well, we were seeing each other somewhere every day or every night. There was so much stuff going on, and everybody had a good song, and you could always, even if you didn't cut the song or hold the song, it doesn't mean they weren't good songs, and I probably was a little difficult because I thought maybe I knew more about songs than I really did.
Well, you put on a good front.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
You faked it pretty well, yeah.
But I used to bounce a lot of my stuff off of Larry Butler and Russ and some other people that I had a lot of respect for. And Russ I'd play him a song and he'd say, but you can't get that on the radio. And I'd say, well, that don't matter. Do you like it? You know, kind of thing. So that was my thing.
In this business,
If I like it enough, someone else will like it.
In
I like
this
that,
business, it seems, and it's always been this way, that it's very difficult to either get a song cut or an artist signed if they're a little bit different, or if they're a lot different, which is even better. But there's this fear factor: radio won't play it, and radio doesn't know what they'll play. I mean,
That's right.
they really don't. So if you give them something different, I will never forget when the Headhunters was one, the Dixie Chicks. I mean, you know, I didn't think about this before I came, or I would have more names and more songs. Oh, the Tractors. I mean, what a sound! And it just made you feel good. You didn't have to analyze it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, when just going back, basically we all were here in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even into the 90s
Yeah.
and 2000.
2000.
It just, it's not that good now, you know, and I don't think it will ever be like that again.
No. No.
I think it could be, but I don't think it will be.
Well,
Yeah, there's so much sameness to me when
Yes.
I think that's
I
because
can listen to the radio. Like I drove down to Chattanooga the other day to visit a friend, and the whole time I listened until I couldn't hear the station anymore, I didn't hear one female, and all the guys sounded like the same guy.
Right.
I mean, except for Jelly Roll and Chris Stapleton, everyone else
Yeah.
just sounded like another Morgan
Yeah,
Wallen.
Chris
I mean,
is
nothing
different,
against,
yeah.
but still, it was kind of like, wow, it's just so.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I agree.
You
Just
know,
sort of
I think there's a couple of
flat.
reasons for that. I think that it has a lot to do with no A&R. You know, we
I
don't
think
do
so,
A&R
too.
anymore. We
No.
have, if something blows up to a certain point on streaming, then they say this must be good.
Yeah.
So then they run with it, and if it sticks, it sticks, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, and we used to have aggregators, if you will. You know, the people that would develop talent and say, I've got something you hadn't heard before. Check this out. You know, and it's like if you're really good with social media, you got a shot. And I've always contended that before it was social media, when it was just social, before you had media,
Yes.
the Beatles couldn't get arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, they were sending all the acts from Liverpool over to Germany that were breaking. They couldn't get the Beatles. The guy couldn't get the Beatles on. They called them, don't send those bums from Liverpool, not those guys.
Wow.
And Elvis, when it was social, not social media, Elvis had two friends through high school, and they worked for him till the day they all died.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the parents said, don't hang out with that guy. He's a hood. Wears his collars up, coats his hair back. He wasn't good at social or media. So, it would be media today. So, I think, but somebody said, that's pretty cool what you do there. And it's just my opinion, but it sure feels like the lack of A&R, and I'll probably want to comment about this.
No, I agree.
The sameness is the worst of all part of it. You don't have a George Jones. You don't have Merle.
No.
Those
Don't have an
distinctive-
Alan Jack. Don't have a George Strait. Don't have a
You don't
Don
have,
Gibson
Yes.
and all
There's
very
Or
not a
Hank or-
distinctive voice.
Yes.
Earl Thomas Conley.
Yes.
Yeah, Earl
Yes.
had a very good voice.
Eddie Rabbit.
So
I mean, there was
interesting.
a lot of
Eddie, I
interesting
loved Eddie
voices,
Rabbit's
and
stuff.
interesting. There's songs. The different, being different was great.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I'll add that too, and I think that's exactly right. I think we've always had a fair amount of sameness. And if you go back and look at the charts of the 90s, you had good. You had a whole bunch of good, and they were right here on the radio. And they were all good. They were good. Not great, just good.
Right.
And then you had, we used to call booger eaters. That's got on the charts somehow, and they were there, and they were bad. But you heard them on the radio. We all knew some of them.
Yeah.
But then you always had 2 or 3 up here that were just absolutely
Fabulous.
incredible breaking
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
We don't have that anymore. That's what's missing to
Yeah.
me. It's that.
Randy Travis.
I've got a song
yeah.
right now that is different. It is, I don't know, if you had to compare it to something, it would be the Tractors, okay? And every time I send it off, I say, don't be afraid of this. Every time. And, of course, everybody's afraid
You
of it.
still have it?
Yeah, I mean, they just, they go, ooh,
I wanna hear it.
that's different. Okay.
I'd love
It's
to.
so much fun.
Yeah. Well, and you know what they say about passion? It creates polarization. That's the reason people don't like it. If you have a true passion song, 50% of people absolutely love it. But in the old days, they changed the
Yeah,
station,
well,
the other 50, and we don't want that. We want everybody to kind of like it and stay on the station.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of where we are
See, that
today. Even though we're
mentality.
not talking about radio that much anymore. Go ahead.
Tommy Collins, once more with no feeling.
Great.
That's
Oh, sorry, I didn't
good.
mean to cut you off, Judy. What were you
Yeah.
I don't
Now,
know.
you sing that one more time with no feeling.
It's funny. Oh, my God.
Well, we were here during the great time.
Oh, I wouldn't
we had
trade a minute.
So much fun doing it,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we've all been really blessed to
Totally.
have been a part of something that is that good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we sure thank you for coming today and participating in our little podcasting.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Yeah, it
Well,
does.
it's,
Lovely
it's
does.
really
To
been,
be here,
it's
really,
been
really
fun.
enjoyed it.
I hope people will watch it and get something out of it. Have you guys heard the Tom Schuyler's newest version of 16th Avenue?
It's
No.
fabulous.
where it's like 16th Avenue today.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Really good.
Oh, I'd love
Is
to hear
it?
that.
Yeah, because one thing that was different then too was that everybody knew everybody, and there was
Yes.
there. It was Music Row, and it was there.
Yes.
And today that's not. It's not the same anymore. Not that
Oh, I
it's
miss-
better or worse. It's just not the
I
same.
miss Music Row so much.
Yeah. And people say, "Man, I want to play you a song." Publisher to publisher, anybody. You want to hear something really great, Wait till you hear this,
We used to do that I used to pitch other people's songs
Yeah.
if I thought they were great.
I know.
My friends, just because it was a great
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that was the other song the guy did on the Opry the other night
What was
that I
that?
thought he shouldn't have done. Murder on Music Row.
Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
was.
the guy that won Idol. Or whatever?
Yeah, he was not here. He wasn't part of that, and
Yeah.
it made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then followed that by. Here I'm being critical again. But
Yeah.
we think differently.
And I still think there's good stuff. I'm not going to say it's all bad because it's not. There's some really good stuff out there. I just,
Mm-hmm.
just, again, I don't hear anything that I go, I've never heard that before.
Right.
That's the only thing that doesn't
Boy.
make it bad. I just,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so.
I
Yeah.
really.
That was always the best part of
Yeah.
all of it was hearing something you had never heard before.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mark McGuinn.
Mark McGuinn. Now, isn't that the truth?
Yes. In fact, I had a song on there. I'll think of it in a minute.
Well, she's thinking she's still mad because it wasn't a single, Harold. So.
Yeah. It,
Oh, should have
was
been
a-
probably.
Oh,
it
it was. I'm
was.
sorry.
but then 9/11 happened, and it sounded too much fun. That's a plan.
Oh, I know that song.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a plan.
Oh,
Yeah. Now that's a plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I forgot that.
Mark,
Yeah.
he's coming to do our
Tomorrow.
podcast tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And my writer,
Mark was
Bobby
so
Boyd.
good.
Bobby Boyd.
is-
Oh, there were so many good songs on that album.
Yes.
Even Mrs. Stephen Rudy.
Oh,
and,
and that was different.
So different.
and the
that
second
time.
song, Heaven Must Be Missing You.
Yes.
Oh, that was so beautiful, that song. Oh, so good. And then She Doesn't Dance. And
And
That's
I
the Plan.
think when
and-
That's a Plan was released,
Oh,
it
it was so good.
well, it was just too happy. 9/11, it
And
just
I remember
happened.
now.
Yeah. It's all about the ride.
A bunch of
Yes.
songs. Yeah.
And speaking of different, I mean, KT Oslin. I mean, that was
Katie
like
was
something so
different. She
completely
was
different,
yeah.
and so good, and just a like
When
that was
you
a
said
whole
that, it
era.
just gave me chills.
I
'cause
know when
She just,
It was just
She was phenomenal.
refreshing and wonderful and so great for women. You know, she spoke for women and
women,
everybody.
Usually
But
women aren't that good. That's what I'm kidding.
Well,
Hey, first of all, I was raised with 4 sisters and no brothers.
That's right,
I'm
he's got
teasing
8
you.
sisters.
I'm
Don't
teasing
say
you.
things
I'm
like that.
teasing you.
yeah, but I miss those distinctive writers,
Yeah,
singers. You know,
Those KT records absolutely were absolutely
Unbelievable.
killer. As a matter of fact, I said before, when Harold was trying to get me to come up from Muscle Shoals, that was the reason I came when he played me the KT stuff.
Really?
The demos they'd done, yeah. The first stuff they started on, yeah.
she was so good,
Really good.
and she wrote all of those songs.
that's yeah.
And what a
So
great
amazing.
actress.
She
I mean,
was.
there's there was
She
no
was
limit
so
to
talented.
her talent. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really good.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Man. Some of those songs, there were songs in that never came out. And we were going to do the one on, you were going to do the one on Amy Como, Moving Out. Remember
Yeah,
that?
moving out. I'm moving out. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the one that moved me the most of all those never was a big single. Old Pictures. Remember that song?
Old pictures.
I
is-
cry every time
boy,
I hear
it's
that song.
really good.
Here's my
It's really
favorite of my
good.
papa.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
man, what a great song. Whew.
Live close,
man.
visit often.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
80s ladies. God, that
Yeah.
was so great. So many good
She
songs.
don't talk like us no more.
Somebody just cut that.
They did?
Cut
Yes, I
what?
just saw it. She don't. Oh, you know who it was? Never mind. I know who it was. I think it was Belle France.
Really?
I think she did.
Oh,
She
really?
don't talk like us no
Yeah,
more.
I think she did. I think
Belle
I saw
is
it.
fabulous.
Yeah,
Belle is, yeah.
She's really
I don't know who
good.
that is.
I saw her down in Mississippi about.
Yeah, Russ
2 years ago.
introduced me to her a long
Yeah.
time ago.
She's really good. Hopefully they'll get that right at some point. I haven't heard that version. I just saw that.
she-
I meant to tell you
if,
that.
if she ever gets the right song
Mhm.
produced right, she'll be
Huge.
well on her way.
She's really, really good.
She's got an interesting style, actually.
Yes. Yes.
She's not like anyone else.
Nope. She's unique. She's really cool.
You
Good
have to
work,
play me
Russ.
some. Play me.
You
I
did
haven't
good
heard it.
on
Yeah,
that.
she's really good.
I'd like to
Oh,
hear it.
I'm not working with her or anything. I just saw her down there and was telling
Yeah,
everybody about her
Russ,
when I came
yeah.
back.
I'll have to look her up.
He told me about her.
Oh, she's great. She's been over to the house.
Really?
And, yeah, when the gal used to be at Universal that left. What's her name?
Yeah, what happened to that girl? The girl from L.A.?
Yeah.
We were just talking about today. We had Blake on. I don't know her name. I
I'm
never met her.
blanking on her name. Anyhow, my roommate and I kind of adopted her when the first time we met her, and she and Belle came over several times, and just Belle's personality is just sucks you in. I mean, she is just precious.
She is.
She really is.
Really unique and really cool.
Not
yeah,
to
yeah.
mention, God, she's a great singer.
Yeah, she is. She really is. She's the real deal if they can get it right, you know. So that's always the hardest part, getting it right.
That's the hardest part.
Always, yeah.
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 I'm
Hey,
trying to get her to.
Almost, it's almost like the song tells you who is supposed to do
Well,
it.
she's such a candidate for Did I Shave My Legs for This?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That was so unique in its day. That was a
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
I could have done that song and had a hit. I might be going a little far, but that song was one of those things.
Yes.
The song
Well, you
was
could
as big as
nowadays.
anything.
You could cross over for a little bit.
Yeah, I told you I want to be a male model. at one time.
That's an interesting story. I went over to Capitol to play songs for, I think it was Stephanie Cox, and she said, I want to play you something. And she played me Dina Carter, and she played Did I Shave My Legs for This? And I went, that's your single.
Yep.
Well, apparently there had been some controversy amongst the decision makers. They were afraid of it, all this stuff. So I think it may have been Mark Brown that was working there then. She got Mark in there and she said, tell Mark what you told me. So I told him, I said, I'm telling you, it's a great song. So I go back to the office, and a couple of days later, this is how God blesses me. Rhonda Hart, who's the other writer, was seeing somebody down the hall, and she stopped to say hello. And we started talking, and she said, if you can get publishing on this song. I'll give you my publishing. Right now, I'm kind of having a hard time making people understand I'm a co-writer. And I went, I'll give it a whirl. And I was able to do it.
Yeah.
And that song just dropped in my lap.
Meant to be, yeah.
So, thank you, Lord.
Anytime they say,
Yes.
I'm afraid of this, it's a good sign.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yep. That's one of those ones that, I mean, even if you don't know that song, if you heard that title today, you go, man, what do I got to hear that? I've never heard that.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. And every time we do that, we happen to stumble into those, everybody goes, oh, we can't do that. Invariably.
It never was number one. It only got to 40.
But it made an impact.
Yeah. I mean, when she did the late night shows and, just promoted the album. And that was when Capitol had a change in regime. And I think some other artists were complaining that they weren't getting the attention. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it deserves a resurrection for you people out there in case you're looking. A little plug.
Amen. Yeah, there you go. Let's say it again. It's right here. It's no. Yeah, that's that was a great
Don't
song.
try to make it something it's not.
Right.
You know,
that's
we got
good.
a lot
That's
of
good.
negative feedback on 80's ladies. If you can
Really?
believe that.
Huh.
Of course,
What
this
was-
was back then on the line. We burned our bras, we burned our candles at both.
It's so brilliant.
And some of the promotion people, I think more than radio people, I think it was, they just didn't think it through, I mean, it really wasn't about that.
Right. Right.
That's a line in the song.
And a great one,
And it
too.
is a song.
Yes.
But yeah, perfect line.
Great line, yeah.
Perfect line. They did all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
But,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah.
Remember the song "Something in Red"?
Yes.
That was
Sorry,
Angela.
That's
another
another-
great one.
Well, talking about not fitting the bill for radio, it was 4 minutes long. It had no chorus, and I pitched that over and over to Laurie through Richard Landis. And eventually, I met with Mary Martin and played it to Mary, and she loved it. And she pushed for that song. It kept getting passed on by Laurie, and Mary eventually said to her, "Look, just listen to the very end." And there's a line in there that says underwear, that it's probably made people a little nervous also.
Yeah.
You mentioned underwear or bras. But anyway, it was no chorus and 4 minutes long, and it was one of her biggest songs ever. It didn't
love
go to
that
number
song.
one. It only went to 5 or 4 or something. But it was
Isn't
it was a
that
career
interesting?
But
song
we
for
always
her.
think of those songs as number ones because they were so big.
Well,
Yes.
The number
exactly.
didn't mean
Yes.
anything.
And just really different at the time. And I mean, that was not a radio song by
I
any
would have
means,
bet
but
you
it
that I Shaved
ended
My
up
Legs
being.
for this was a number one record. Before you said that, I would have bet.
Yeah,
$1
I
million.
thought it was a huge
Oh,
hit.
would I have loved that?
See, I mean, I really did because it was such an impactful thing. It's like he was talking about today. What do you think the first number one record was on Alabama? The biggest one that really launched him.
Wow, that's a good question.
Old Flame?
That was a good one. I would have bet my homes
Tennessee.
in Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a big
Well,
record.
it did get the record deal.
Yeah, but it wasn't a number one record.
No, it was a top 10.
I would have bet that was
First
number
number
one.
one
for 8
was Tennessee River.
weeks. Yeah.
Tennessee River.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, I would have
And
never.
then Feel So Right,
Yeah,
Oh,
and then Mountain Music,
yeah.
and then Dixieland Delight, and
oh.
Love in the First Degree.
But I guarantee you, when people start naming Alabama songs, My Home's in Alabama is in the top 4 or 5 they'll bring up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of other number ones. That wasn't a number one record. Would you say
Isn't-
about 8 or something?
10.
10.
Isn't
It was
that
top
weird?
10. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly.
But I mean, I'd have bet you everything I had that was a number one record.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah,
it's-
we were talking about that this morning. When we finished that song in the studio, it was 8.5 minutes long.
Wow.
So we finally got it down to, I think, 5 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
Which was unheard of for
Well,
a radio
and
hit that length.
Strawberry Wine, what was it, 4.5 minutes?
Another
Yeah,
great one.
yeah,
And a waltz
Yeah.
on top of that.
yeah.
You know,
I guess the
wouldn't-
longest country song ever was El Paso.
It was
Oh,
like
you know
6 minutes,
what?
wasn't
Yeah.
It's between 5 and 6
Yeah,
minutes.
something like that.
Yeah.
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 I heard that song the other day. And, you know, you look at songs and you get caught up in the song itself. And when I was listening to it, I thought, this is so brilliant. Every line, you want to hear what's happening. You know, you're just like,
Yeah, if it goes off somewhere, that's a different deal. But
Yes.
if it's interesting and well written,
yes,
it doesn't matter how long it
Yeah.
is. really.
right.
But from radio's standpoint, it did make a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, are you guys doing anything now you're excited about, or a writer, or a song, or
I've
you're going,
got,
just this song? Oh,
I've got this dang song, I'm telling you,
oh,
it's
you
a
just mentioned
hit.
that, yeah. I forgot.
And
Sorry.
every time I pitch it, do not be afraid.
Yeah. You just told me that. I'm sorry. I'm getting older, you know.
That's okay. But I do hear some really great songs. And Jewel and I were talking about it on the way over here. You have to email. You cannot meet with anybody now because they're afraid.
See, I don't like
I
that.
don't either.
I don't
I
like it
hate
at all.
I want
that.
to sit down and talk to
Yeah.
whoever I'm.
As a publisher, you always find out something you did not know about the artist. Always.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes how it came about becomes part of it, and it
Right.
it strengthens everything, you know.
Yeah, how many times do you go play a song for an artist and they said, it's not quite right. If I had yada, 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 you go back and get yada, yada, yada and bring it back. Not a lot of times, but I've gotten songs cut like that
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
I would have never thought that. Hear this one.
Yeah.
Look
We
at
don't get
you.
that.
Somebody tells me they want an Eagles song, and I play them one, and they go, sounds too much like the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten that before too. I've gotten that before too. But I mean, the whole point of the interaction, so at least you get like you said, you get a bit out of it.
Feedback.
You learn
Yeah.
something when you go
Yeah.
there. That there's not any of that so much anymore.
What
yeah.
did you
Yeah.
just tell me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and new artists, because, I mean, I will pitch a song to a fence post, you know. And new artists, they go, that's just not me. And I'm thinking, but it could be a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about you, darling.
Yeah.
I mean,
And not at this stage.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, and not to continue, I'm not trying to knock what's going on. I'm really not, because I think there's some great stuff going on. But I'm doing this project right now for this record company I'm working with. And
Do you need songs?
not yet, but I will.
Okay.
The thing I'm doing first is Ed C. and Biff Watson and Joe Chimay went in. They decided they were going to get in the sync business 5 years ago, and they went in and cut 12 backrack songs. And they did great instrumentals on them. Well, I could have told them how hard sync was. As a matter of fact, I did. And I said, if you don't have somebody who's going to pitch these, nothing's going to happen. And it didn't. So I said, what I would do is go get those that actually worked on in the 90s, Martina and Pam Tillis and Colin Ray, put them on here, and then get some young singers that want to sing with their hero that have big social media following, throw them on there, and now you got something. Well, they didn't do that. Well, we're doing that. I've reached out to it. I mean, I got a bunch of legacy artists. I'm still looking for a few more. Like Tracy Lawrence came in and sang "The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance." Oh my God, you ought to hear it.
Oh,
It
how
just
That would
cool.
be great.
I've got
Yeah.
Tanya Tucker and Daniel Powder. Oh, you had a bad day. That guy
Oh, yeah.
doing Raindrops together. But anyway, I talked to some of these young artists. They don't know who Burt Bacharach is. They've never heard those songs.
Right.
And it's interesting to me, some of the young, and not a slam, it's not. It's just that they don't know anything more than 5 or 6 years ago. That's all they know is current stuff. And not that I'm some big library, but, of course, I knew music from the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
My grandmother
So
had
did
every
I.
record that was made from 1935 till the late 60s. I heard all that stuff. My mother was in high school in the 50s, and I had her full record collection. And of course, as a kid, I was buying Beatle records and everything else. So, it's odd to me that a lot of kids, up to, in their 30s and down, don't know anything older than, and so, I know some do, but by and large, I've run into that a lot saying, well, I couldn't sing that. I don't, who is this guy?
Yeah, see, that really, it's like in my opinion, they should do their homework. And it gives so much more substance to songs and artists if they know the background of the genre, for heaven's sake.
And if they listen to Fly Me to the Moon, I'm just pulling that right out of there. But the rhyme schemes of that era are just the rhymes that they do are just so different and unique, and it's not the end of each line rhyming. It can be the first words of the next line. I mean, there are just so many ways,
Well, every new writer should read Johnny Mercer's biography.
Yes.
I haven't read that.
Oh, God, Russ, it's worth your time.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. He covers the 20s, the chapter on the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Wow, I have to read that.
We had over 15 hits just in movies. Moon River, The Days of Wine and Roses. I mean, it's just so interesting. And he talks about how he got the ideas for all of these stuff, like how he went to black clubs before he wrote this and all this. And it just, if I was going to try to write a song, I would read that book and then get in a room somewhere because it's just so good. And but like you said, they don't know anybody past last year.
Yeah, that's why it's so.
And that's really not what it's all about.
That's
it's much more in depth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. To me, that's why it's so samey too, because their whole knowledge is 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, you're working on two of them now, Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
Oh yeah.
The stuff they have been doing for so long.
Yep. And those melodies.
Melodies. I miss melodies, don't you?
That's the title of the album, Melodic
Wow.
Genius. So anyway.
I miss singers.
Yeah, singers,
I miss
great melodies, great lyrics.
Singers.
Yeah.
Moon River was
Amen.
Black River. It's a river runs through Savannah. And they changed it. He changed it to Moon River. And look.
Fascinating.
Wow.
That's far more interesting, isn't it? Moon River is more interesting than Black River.
And more romantic.
Isn't that the truth?
Well,
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
You
We don't
think
want to make Doug
romance.
Johnson mad. Now wait a minute. Black River is a joke. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. One of my favorite records of all time was who's the greatest American composer? Started in the 20s. Why can't I think of his name?
American what?
American composers. Did a lot of soundtracks. And
Gershwin?
Stuff.
No,
not Gershwin.
Yeah.
Anyway, his first
Stoller and no.
His first big album he did, soundtrack, was for the Marx Brothers movie in 1929, Coconuts. I got that album. There's a song on there called The Monkey Doodle Doo that was a big hit for the Flappers and stuff in those days. It's one of my favorite records of all time and songs. Not George Gershwin. Why can't I think of it now? Anyway.
Not Rodgers and Hammerstein.
No, this one guy. I'll think of his name in a second. But I'm saying, again, and I'm not some big encyclopedia, but I heard all those things growing up from all over the place, and they all influenced what I like and how I hear things.
Yes.
And if every bit of it's this, it seems like it's kind of hard to grow any bigger. To me anyway. That's
when George Strait was on MCA and Dirt, Don Lanier was A&R. Loved that man.
Remember Dirt.
Loved that man. Anyhow, he said, "We're looking for George Strait and think Frank Sinatra." Okay? So I'm going, I get it. And, who else would get it?
Yeah,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when they tell you somebody that's, like that, you need to know who that is and what they sound like.
Yep. Yep. Again, I used this analogy recently on this record we're doing. Back in 2002, there was this label called Blue Note. I don't know if you remember them or not. They were a jazz label, and they've been around about 40 years. And wait a minute, before you say,
That
let
was
me finish
going to
my
be
story.
my publishing company. You mean
Anyway, Capitol Records bought them in 2001 or 2, and Bruce Lundvall had left Capitol and went over to run it.
Yes.
And so they were famous. The way they did their business is if they could sell 30,000 pieces, they were making a little money. And they had an incredible mail list, not email, a mail list they had over the years. They would, every time they put a new record out, they'd send out a flyer saying, hey, this new record, we got a new Thelonious Monk record coming in March. People would pre-order it. And they could usually sell out their 30,000 pieces and move forward. So they signed this young artist, you know who it is.
Yes.
And they were going to make this jazz record. And so they were trying to find a way to utilize their database, but nobody knew who this was, like the other jazz artists. So they ended up cutting a deal with this new coffee company called Starbucks, and they put it at the cash registers. But they made this kind of music that nobody gave a shit about, jazz at that point. 30,000 pieces was good when we were still selling 5 million back then if we had a hit record. Hell, they cut You're Cheating Hard on that record, if you remember.
That's right.
And an old Hank Williams song, they brought in Arif Mardin, who was 80 hour men to make the record. So they put this record out, and out of a place where nobody expected it to come from, with an art form nobody was doing anything with it, nobody gave a poop about. All of a sudden, the old folks and the young kids at the coffee shop heard it, and boom, all of a sudden it's the coolest thing in the world, and 25 million records later.
Yes.
So, the reality is Nora Jones.
Nora Jones.
So again, somebody steps out and does something real unique and different that somehow, and what's even crazier about that, of course, who her dad is, Ravi Shankar.
Yes.
He's an Indian musician.
Yeah.
Where the hell is the jazz?
Sitar, right.
But, I see, I'm sure people are doing that and we're not hearing it is a problem. I'm sure somebody's doing it. I wish I could hear them somewhere. But I think in the commercial world, we don't, and I've been talking about the commercial world that we came out of, we don't hear those kind of things so much anymore.
I love Bruce Lundvall. He was such a brilliant man.
I didn't know him. I
only met him a couple of times, but he was such a brilliant man.
Yeah, but they did it right.
Yeah, I love the big band era.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Glenn Miller story. Oh man.
Was he not great?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Benny Goodman.
Yeah.
All those guys. And the great trumpet player, Charlie Spivak.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Bob Wills and all that Texas
too.
swing, too. That was really a good...
Yeah.
He was fun to watch, too. You see those old videos. He does that little thing.
He was Western swing.
That
Bob
was really... Yeah, I liked that a lot.
You know who knew him real well? Is Leroy Parnell.
Huh.
His dad and Leroy Parnell's dad were real good friends. So as a kid, Leroy was around him a lot, Bob Wills. And he tells some stories about him.
I got to meet Frank Sinatra.
You did?
I knew that. You had a picture with him.
I did.
I remember that picture.
I mean,
Frank Sinatra?
What do you say to Frank Sinatra is what I want to know. I was just like, duh. I mean, love your music.
Yeah.
The
only guy like that I ever got to meet, and I met him with Chet, was Perry Como.
Oh,
Perry Como.
He used to come here a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And when Chet was producing some of his records, and he was a nice, quiet man. He was really a nice fella.
That's fun, man. That's cool stuff. All right, kids.
But he was a singing barber also,
Yep.
you know.
When the
Really?
hit your eye,
Yeah.
like a big pizza pie.
Yeah. He was a barber. He cut hair before he sang.
Hot diggity dog.
That's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They come from everywhere,
I
don't
know.
they?
Hey, I think we got to wrap up here pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Okay.
It was fun.
We could talk the rest of the
We
day.
can do
I've
it
got a
again.
I
quick
know.
story about Harlan
Go.
Howard. It's great. Tavern on the Row. Harlan frequented that place. They even had a stool named after him. And this young guy came up to the bar and sat next to him, and he was whining about nobody will listen to my songs, and I've got these great songs, and nobody will hear them. And Harlan looked at him and said, "Nobody sent for you."
That's right. That's right.
I love it. Yeah.
Good advice out there.
Very
for
good.
everybody.
I
That's
think
fun.
of that often.
Yes.
Actually, he
Yes.
said, "Hey, pal." He called people pal. He
Yeah.
didn't. Hey, pal. Nobody sent for you. I remember that.
Love
Hey,
it.
nobody said that's great.
That is great.
I got that.
I loved Harlan Howard.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, what a great person.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Shed. Special thanks to our guests today, Judy Harris and Jewel Coburn, along with our hosts, Russ Zavitzin and Harold Shed. Behind the Shed podcast was created by Wade Smith, produced by Russ Zavitzin and Wade Smith, and recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. Music written and composed by Russ Zavitzin. You can contact the show via email at behindtheshed@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Behind the Shed. Special thanks to our newest Patreon supporter, Mr. Ron Ledette. If you would like to support the show in any way, please visit our Patreon page at Behind the Shed. For sponsorship opportunities, contact us at behindtheshed@gmail.com. This episode was sponsored by popchevy.com, Wild Bill Fireworks, the Kent Rose Foundation, and the Harold Shed Music Gallery.com. Tune in next week as we go behind the shed.